Hello everyone and welcome to today's workshop. I'm Julia Lefebvre. I am the founder of the Strong Her community and the Fueled for Life program. All right, so we are going to be talking about the secret to fat loss and muscle building. So if you see my eyes go down, it's because I have notes. I want to make sure that I don't miss anything and share with you. Okay, so who am I? If you are brand new to our group or if you're watching this over on YouTube, I am Julia Lefebvre. I am a certified nutritionist. I'm a mom of 3, and I help women ditch the restriction and really learn how to fuel their body so that they can optimize their health and performance. So we're going to talk about what's the secret to fat loss? And I first have to premise this by saying, I apologize if you can hear screaming in the background. The kids are playing in the basement and you can hear it through the pipes and stuff like that. But they are, so I apologize for that. But, so let's get to it. We're gonna talk about the secret to fat loss and muscle building. So who here has a goal to lose fat, build muscle, build a lean body composition? Just put a me in the comments below. Oh, not right now. See, right, they've interrupted. Okay, thank you. Oh, outside. Out you go. You can go play in your room.
The water is hitting me.
Okay, that's not very nice. Go and play in your room, please. Apologize for that. Back to school next week. Okay, so we are going to be talking about this. So I want to know, have you had the goal for yourself to change your body composition? You want to lose fat, you want to build that muscle? Put me in the comments below. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to give the secret away right away, but I want to explain to you through this workshop why this is so important, okay? So we're gonna talk about the why, we're gonna talk about the what, we're gonna talk about the how, but right away I'm going to give you that answer. Awesome, a lot of you are saying, me, I want to burn fat, I wanna build lean muscle. Muscle is lean to begin with, so we don't need to put the word lean there, but we often do, right? We want that lean muscle, we want our muscles to show, we wanna burn fat, and there's nothing wrong with wanting fat loss or to change your body composition. It's okay to have that as a goal. And we're gonna talk about that important secret. So here, let's get to it, right? Enough rambling. What is the secret to fat loss and muscle building? The secret is, it's pretty simple, protein, okay? So we tend as women to be on that low side of protein. The majority of the women, I would say 99% of the women that I talk to and work with, they struggle to get protein in. They just are not getting in enough protein in. And, there's a few, protein or lack of protein is often the reason why we are, have a hard time managing or, achieving the body composition that we want. It's often the reason that we have a difficult time building muscle, and it's a lot of time why we're always hungry, right? We can eat something and then we're like, oh, I'm still hungry afterwards. So are we getting enough protein in? Are we eating enough protein at those meals? So that can often be a reason why we're not hitting those goals that we have for ourselves, because we're lacking in protein. We're not getting in enough for what our body needs. So that low protein is often the source of many of the problems that women come to me with. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, changing that protein number has been a game changer. When my clients start to eat more protein, we can see the changes in their body composition. They start to feel fuller longer. They start to build muscle. They're burning body fat, right? So it is a game changer. We need to make sure, you need to find out, am I getting in enough protein? Is there enough protein that I'm getting in? Am I getting in enough protein? And how much protein should I be getting in daily, right? So for my optimal health and for performance and your body composition goals. So I'm going to talk about why protein is important in general. I'm going to talk about for muscle building. I'm going to talk about it for fat loss. I'm going to talk about plant-based versus animal protein, because I do get that question a lot. A lot of people are like, okay, they know that I'm not plant-based or 100% vegan or anything like that, And so they're like, well, is this, when you're talking about protein, can I do this as a vegan? Like, is that referring to me? Is this, is it different? So I'm going to talk about that a little bit, because I do tend to eat a lot of plant-based, but I do eat animal-based protein as well. But I want to be able to talk to the vegans and the vegetarians in the group as well. And then what are some tips and tools on getting enough protein in as well? Okay, so why is protein so important? Why do we need to get protein in? And why is it like, why do people keep telling protein, more protein? I thought protein was bad, right? You're going to see things out there, or the people that, the sort of extremists, they're like, protein's bad for you. And I'm talking plant-based, animal-based, right? Like, too much protein is bad for you, or yada, yada, yada. I'm talking about protein here and why it's important. So it helps us with muscle and tissue repair and growth, okay? So it's not just like when I'm talking about my biceps muscles, like it also is the muscles and tissues around our body's organs. So it doesn't matter if you're somebody who wants to build muscle and you're working out and lifting weights in the gym. If you are a human being, you need protein to help your body, right? We were talking about why protein is important in general. We want to eat enough protein so that we can build that muscle, build that tissue, and repair that tissue around our body's organs. We're talking skin, we're talking hair, we're talking nails, we're talking our bones, right? As women, we tend to be more at risk for developing osteoporosis. So we want to make sure that we are eating enough protein, right? How can we lower our risk? Eat more protein, eat enough protein in order to have strong bones and having that muscle and tissue repair around our bones, having strong bones. So we're going to do this. So we're talking about, when we talk about fat loss and muscle building, when I talk to my clients, I want to come from a whole person approach. I want you to be happy and healthy. I want you to be healthy. We want to talk about nutrition for optimal health and performance. So we're talking the health side here, right? Optimal health, we need to make sure that we're getting in the, optimal amount of protein into our body so that our body can build and repair muscle and tissue. So we need to make sure that we're eating enough protein, regardless of fat loss or muscle building goals that we have for ourselves. So I hope you're following here. Okay, so just for overall health, protein is very important. Okay, so now talking about muscle building and why is it important for muscle building? So we need protein for that recovery. Remember, it helps us with that muscle and tissue repair. Muscle and tissue building, muscle and tissue repair. So if you're going to do a weight training workout and you're going to be building muscle, working, we want to help it repair after, when you do those workouts, we're tearing the tissues, right? We want it to help it repair and build the muscle. And so we need protein to do that. So it helps repair that muscle tissue. We're going to talk about, you want to make sure that you're getting protein in throughout your day. And it's not like you have to make sure you're having protein instantly after that meal or after that workout, but we want to make sure that we're surrounding that workout with protein as well, before and after our workout. And we want to make sure that we're having that protein around that workout, right? So before and after doesn't have to be instantly when you finish that cool down, making sure you're having to have protein right away, but within 30 to 60 minutes before and about 60 minutes after, you want to make sure that you're getting some protein into your body. And it's important that we want to then spread that protein throughout the day. So not necessarily just having only protein then, but spreading it out throughout the day. Okay, so let's talk fat loss goal. So if you have fat loss as your goal, protein is important for you as well, because it helps us with, number one, so I had the kids are yelling in the background. So you want to burn more than you're eating, right? So we when we are in fat loss, we're in a calorie deficit, right? That's where we're burning more than we're consuming. And so we tend to be a little bit hungrier, right? Because we're consuming a little bit less than we normally do. There's going to naturally be a little bit more hunger there. And so protein helps us feel fuller longer. And so you want to make sure you're having protein, right? Our body digests fats and carbs a lot quicker than it does protein. Protein digests a lot slower, and so it's going to keep you fuller longer. And so by adding in enough protein, and especially in a calorie deficit, it's going to help you feel fuller longer and less than somebody else who's eating less protein, having that, those hunger pains or whatever. So clients who have said, oh, I've added, I feel so much fuller, right? Clients who've added more protein and end up being fuller longer, and they're like, okay, wow, I feel so much better here. I don't feel hungry all the time. I'm feeling so full and satiated because they're eating enough protein, okay? The other thing is, if you're somebody who's new to lifting, you can build muscle and lose fat at the same time. So it's helping you build that muscle. We're getting in enough protein in order to support those workouts, to building that muscle and repairing the muscle and tissue. But then it's also going to help us on that fat loss side at the same time. It also will help you feel fuller longer, like I said, and because it takes us longer to digest it. The other thing is that I can hear my kids screaming. They're having fun, but they're loud. So we want to make sure that we're eating enough protein and the body uses it. Because if we're not eating enough protein and we are lifting weights and we're trying to change our body composition, if we're not getting in enough protein, we risk in that fat loss stage that our body is not just going to be burning fat, it's going to be using protein or muscle. We're risk losing muscle. So just because we're in a calorie deficit, we don't just we might be burning fat and muscle and losing muscle, and we don't want to. We want to, when we're in that fat loss stage, to be able to maintain the muscle that we've built and worked really hard to build while burning fat. So we want to make sure that we're eating. If we don't eat enough protein, we risk also burning and losing muscle, and we don't want to do that, okay? So that's why protein is so important for fat loss. So if you're somebody who's been lifting and you want to burn fat, we want to make sure that you're getting ample amounts of protein in, okay? So we need protein to support our muscles. We need protein that is going to preserve that muscle tissue when we're in that calorie deficit. So that's really important. So how much protein am I supposed to be eating? How much protein should I be getting in, right? So I teach my clients that when I look at my clients and I come up with their protein, we are looking at about 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So for example, if somebody weighs 150 pounds, they could potentially be eating, 150 grams of protein per day. So I don't know. I should have written this down, that if, what would 0.7 times 150 be? That would be that range of protein they would be in for getting in protein per day. And so we want that range, right? We want to be able to maintain that muscle while we're in fat loss. We want to help our body with that muscle and tissue repair. We also want enough protein for that our healthy body, right? Protein has amino acids in it, and that's where we get the amino acids for our body for optimal health. And so we get it from our protein sources. So we need to make sure that we're getting in enough protein so that our body can properly go through protein synthesis. We can synthesize the protein. So so it's a vital part, but it's always hard for people to get in. And so often, like I said at the beginning, it's so hard for women to get enough protein in. So type the word protein below if you are somebody who maybe thinks they're not getting enough protein in, or struggles, you've maybe tracked macros before and you struggle to get in enough protein in your daily intake. So put the word protein in the comments below if that is you. If you struggle to get in protein, if you have your macros and you're like, I can never hit my number, or, if you just don't track but you're just not sure you're getting in enough, put the word protein in the comments below. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're getting in enough protein, right? And we want to make sure that we're getting that certain amount in. So the thing is, I will talk in a little bit about, what are some ways that you can, what are some tips on getting in more protein into your daily intake that I have for you. But I want to just touch on plant-based and animal-based because that is a question that comes up a lot. A lot of people think, when I talk about protein, I'm only talking about animal-based protein. I get a lot of women who are vegan and they're like, can I work with you because you're not vegan? And so yes, you can. And yes, I've worked with people who are vegan or, more plant-based. So we want to talk about that piece as well. So we're going to talk about making sure that we're getting in. Oh, not right now. Okay, go play in your room, please. I'm so sorry. Go play in your room, please. That's not very nice. I hope. Sorry about that. Nash, come and sit with me. Shut the door and you can come sit with me. Shut the door and you can come sit with me. Ryder out, please. Okay, so let's talk about animal versus plant-based protein. So can you build muscle as a vegan? Yes. Can you hit your targets of protein as a vegan? Yes. Is it harder? Yes. Why is it harder? It's generally harder because my plant-based and vegan, your plant-based proteins are also, the high proteins are also carbohydrates. And so we tend to struggle to get in enough protein, but then stay within our, thanks, Marie Jose, stay within our caloric intake, right? And so it often is a real struggle to get that in, but it is possible. It is possible to build as a vegan. It is possible to hit those targets as a vegan. So you just have to be aware of that, that a lot of your plant-based are going to be higher in carbohydrates. So we tend to put you on the higher range for protein so that, or a little bit lower, not higher, lower range, but sort of middle, so that I can give you enough space in the carbohydrates so that you have that space for getting those more plant-based proteins in. So you're getting that optimal amount of protein, right? We're not putting you in a low range below that 0.7. But you are getting in, have enough room for those extra carbohydrates, right, to make up for your plant-based proteins that are going to be protein and carbohydrates, right? So we want to make sure that you have that space. So we're going to kind of put you at a mid-range, possible lower range, not below range for protein, so that you have that space to get them both in. One of the other things is knowing that plant-based proteins don't always have the full amino acid range that we need, or profile that we need for our bodies for proper protein synthesis. So this is often why for some clients it's, that's really important for the our muscles to repair and tissues to repair and all of that stuff. So it can sometimes be difficult for plant-based clients to get in the essential amino acids. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible, and I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm not saying animal-based is better than plant-based. It's just the reality that plant-based has our essential amino acids in it. Plant-based does not. And so, but you can get it in other ways, right? By pairing it with the right foods. I don't know, that's not something that I have off the top of my head of what you need to pair together, but it's definitely something that is possible. So how to get it in? How do we get enough protein in if that's something that I struggle with and I have a hard time getting enough protein in? How do I get my protein in? So there's a couple of things that I teach my clients. One, start your day with protein. Start with at least 20 to 25 grams of protein in that breakfast meal. So it could be eggs, it could be eggs and egg whites, it could be eggs and bacon. There's also going to be carbs and fats in there if you're going to have eggs with toast and whatever, right? So you can have eggs, you can have a protein shake for your first meal as well, right? So you can do like a lot of, I do a plant-based protein shake. It is about 30 grams of protein in there per scoop. So I can get at least 30 grams of protein at my first meal if I'm going to have that protein shake. I could do a scoop and a half, or you could do a scoop and a half of your protein as well, right? So you want to get in about 20 to 25 grams of protein for that first meal, right? Start your day off with protein. That's going to help you feel fuller longer. It's going to help you kind of get that kickstart to get protein in throughout your day. Okay, so the other thing that I teach my clients is to break up your protein throughout the day and have protein at every meal. So you're going to break it up. If you have, let's say, 5 meals a day or 3 meals plus 2 snacks. So you could technically, let's say you were getting in 125 grams of protein per day, that was your target. You could do 25 grams of protein at every single meal, right? Every meal and snack, try to get in about 25 grams of protein. There's other ways to break that up, right? It could be you're having a scoop and a half of your protein. And so for me, that would be 50 grams of protein. Well, there I've already had, more than a third of my protein for the day, but I'm still going to break it up throughout the day to get that other, 75 grams of protein in it. So, but we don't want to have that whole 125 at one meal. We want to break it up throughout our day to optimize our protein synthesis. We want to make sure that we're getting in enough protein. We're not going to build any more muscle if we go above and beyond that 1.0 grams per pound. But we want to make sure that we're getting in protein, and it's just easier, right? Nobody wants to sit there and eat, 10 ounces of chicken at one meal. So you're going to break it up, right? There's different ways to get it in throughout your day. So it could be, but start your day with protein. Then the other, tip is to break it up at every single meal. Know what your target is and to break it up throughout the meal. Divide it up so you know that at each meal or snack, you're going to have a certain amount of protein at those meals. So that'll help you get it in. You can have yogurt with Greek yogurt with, a scoop of protein powder in there. That's going to be, a high amount of protein, especially like if you drink the protein powder that I have, that's 30 grams, like that's putting me at almost 50 grams of protein for that snack, right? If I was to have Greek yogurt and a scoop of protein powder in it. You could have eggs and bacon for breakfast. You could have eggs and turkey bacon. You could have egg whites. You could have a protein shake. At lunch, you can have chicken or any other protein source that you want, right? So for example, if it's a plant-based source of protein, source of protein that's going to have, 20 grams of protein. What protein powder do I use? So I use Iron Vegan is the protein powder I use. You can use that if you want. There's no, I'm not going to tell you have to use a certain protein powder. Find one that you really, really like and enjoy. Definitely look for one. I recommend looking for one that is going to be a higher protein, lower carb and fat, so that you can optimize your protein. And also I prefer to have one that is that way because I often will add things to my protein shake. So I'm going to add some fruit. I'm going to add some spinach. So it's going to increase my carbohydrates there that I want to utilize the protein from the protein powder and then add the carbohydrates myself. So it's more plant-based carbohydrates that I'm adding. Just like whole foods that I'm adding. I'm getting those veggies and fruits in my shake. Not to say that it would be bad to have one that is, has carbs in it, but with recommendations, I would say look for one that is higher in protein, lower in carbs and fats, and also one that you're going to enjoy. Like, find if you like one that is like a cookies and cream, or some, like there's some out there that have like wild and crazy flavors, go for it, right? I like just the vanilla right now. I change it up. But I like it because it's just like a nice base to add stuff to it. I will get like those wild and wacky flavors if I'm just gonna have it as a snack where I don't want to add anything to it, because then it just kind of like adding spinach to like different funky flavors, it just takes away from the flavor, right? Even though you don't really taste the spinach in a shake. But yeah, so find one that you really like. So that's really like ultimately what I wanted to share with you guys. If you have specific questions, I'm going to go through and see what questions kind of came out. But if you have any specific questions, post them in the comments. I want to answer those for you. But just really from a health standpoint and from a muscle building and fat loss standpoint, protein is really important. Oh yes, can I repeat the name of the protein powder I use? I use Iron Vegan. I ordered mine. You can order online. I'm pretty sure that it'll be at any, not health food store, but like supplement store, sorry, near you. I just order mine online just because it's easier for me to just order online and have it come to the house. So it's called Iron Vegan, and I get the athlete one. There's like, let me just see, I've got my computer open. There's a couple of different ones that they have. There's like a sprouted blend, there's a blend one, an athlete one. Can I tell you the difference between them? No, because I haven't like looked up what's the difference between them. So why one is called sprouted, why one's called athlete, and why one's called blend, I don't know. I just went for the athlete one because I liked, someone had recommended it to me. And I didn't even look at the other options. So it's not that one's better than the athlete's better than the others. I can't tell you that. But yeah, so I just ordered it on Amazon. But I'm sure they have a site, their actual Iron Vegan site that you can order from, or you can get it from a supplement store. But yes, they have, and they have different ones too, like a gainer one, which is for athletes. Let me just see here. It's really high in protein. It has 42 grams of protein and 120 grams of carbohydrates. So that's the gainer. So, yeah. So definitely, like, I like the athlete one because it's about 30 grams of protein. It's very low on carbohydrates and very low on fat. And I'm always hungry. I like eating in the middle of the night, or I get nauseated. Yeah, because you're 6 months pregnant. Yeah, so, I mean, if you're finding you're hungry all the time, protein will help you feel fuller longer, so add some protein in. Middle of the night, like, eat, honestly, pregnancy can be difficult. Can you stick to macros during pregnancy? Absolutely. We want to definitely be eating more, not double, right? We're not truly eating for 2, but we do want to make sure that we're eating in a higher caloric intake so that we can support our body and everything. But yeah, so have what you can in the middle of the night. I don't know what helps your stomach right now with the nausea, like whether it's I know during pregnancy for me it was any like carbohydrate, lots of fruit that I was kind of craving when I felt nauseous. We'll check them out. Thank you. Using OP Whey Recharge, but so sweet. Yeah, so if you find it like too sweet, like if it's just doesn't sit with you, then find one that is going to be more like it definitely is not like a sweeter one, the Iron Vegan, I don't find. You can definitely sweeten it up by adding fruit and stuff to it. I know a lot of people that do like lots of different protein powders that are like the Fruit Loop and the Oreo cookie and all of that stuff, and that doesn't, it doesn't make one healthier or unhealthy. Like it doesn't make you healthier or unhealthy compared to somebody else that is doing Iron Vegan or, you know, these other brands that have these types of flavors, right? Our body is looking at the protein intake, and it's going to digest the protein the same, right? If it's 30 grams of protein in both of those. So choose what you like and what you enjoy. And if you want to have those, kind of make it more of a treat type of protein shake, then go for it. Okay, so let's see. Any other questions that came through? I'm going to just check on my computer so I don't have to scroll through. It'll make it a little bit easier. But yeah, if you have questions, just post them in the comments below there. And let's see if these questions they're not coming up on my Facebook. Are you familiar with Fairlife Protein? Oh, the drinks. I don't drink them. I don't have them. I'm not against them. They're a great way to get in your protein because like I know other people who drink them and they're higher in protein. So yes, go for it if you enjoy them. Not grainy tasting. Yeah, if you enjoy the Fairlife Protein, go for it. Yeah, I've heard great things about it. I just don't drink it. I don't think I should try it so that I can kind of guide you guys on taste wise, but they are like a higher protein. So yeah, if you enjoy it, absolutely go for it. No, Miranda, my shake isn't Iron Vegan Gainer. It's the Iron Vegan Athlete. But I know they have Athlete Gainer. Let me just double check. So I actually just ordered another bag this morning. Mine's the blend. Athlete blend. Let me just double check. But yeah, so yeah, I ordered the blend this morning. So yeah, so just to give you guys what it is exactly, so you know, not that you have to do Iron Vegan, but this is the one I do, and it's 30 grams of protein, 5 grams of carbohydrates, 2 grams of fat, and 2 grams of fiber. So that's the one that I do. Yeah, but it's not the Gainer. The Gainer has like I showed before, was like 120 or something grams of carbohydrates and like 42 grams of protein. So that's just not my focus right now. I mean, not that my protein shake is probably like, once I add the strawberries, the frozen strawberries and stuff to it, obviously the carbohydrates are a lot higher, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, you could get the Gainer and then not add anything to it, or you could add anything. You know, what's really important is about making it fit your macros and your intake for the day. And what's really important is that we're getting in enough protein. And so if getting the Gainer versus the blend that I get, if either one fits your macros and it works for you, then get either one. It doesn't mean that, oh, you're just going to gain all this muscle versus somebody who has the blend. What we're focusing on is the overall intake for the day, right? So, okay, you found it. Perfect. Yeah, I ordered mine off Amazon. Honestly, eggs, apples help nausea. Okay, and fig bars. So that's great. So eggs, I don't know if you want to put like hard-boiled eggs beside your bed in the middle of the night if you're going to wake up with nausea, or if you're like able to, if you're going to get up and go to the fridge and whatever. But yeah, and then having like eggs and an apple together would be great because you're getting that protein in with those carbs as well. But honestly, whatever's working for you right now through pregnancy, if you're having nausea still, then you want to eat what is going to make you feel best. So yeah, eggs and an apple. Perfect. Let's see if I missed any. Oh, Brittany was saying, I really hate those grainy, weird aftertaste ones. Yeah, no. And it's tough. Like you don't want to like buy one, a whole bag, and then you're like, eh, this is gross. Usually if I've tried ones that are like a little bit grainier, then I like definitely make sure that I finish the bag and have it with like lots of other stuff to kind of take away that grainy taste. Protein, tired of tuna, egg whites, and shrimp to get it in. Yeah, so definitely like switch it up, right? Switch it up through the day. And try different things. You know, different sources of protein will really help. Okay, let's see another question. Haha, no, the fig bars are the middle of the night. Oh, got it. Got it. Oh, you're welcome, Marie-José. Perfect. Okay, so I don't think we have any other questions coming through. If you're watching this as a replay, just post the comments or your questions below and I'll come back and answer those for you. But yeah, so if your goal is fat loss and muscle building, protein's important. But remember, as women, protein is still important for optimal health. So we want to make sure that we're getting enough protein in. So if you're not sure that you're getting enough protein in, let me know. Reach out. Say, I don't know if I'm getting enough protein in. We can talk about it. I do have my wait list for the Fueled for Life program, 12-week coaching program, is almost full. We've had quite a few applications come in the last week. We're almost at 25 applications, and that is kind of putting me at my max. But there is a few spots left. So if you are interested or just interested in finding out more details about it, I will put the application above and below so that you have it, and then you can apply, and we can talk about kind of your struggles, we can talk about your protein intake, talk about your goals, and then also talk about more details about the program, whether you're a good fit for it and whether it's a good fit for you, right? So definitely want to make sure that that's a good fit first. So I will put that in the comments so that you have it. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's workshop. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. I will come back and answer them for you. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.